Now, it's that time of year when we all like to get the barbecue out if the sun is with us, but how do you do so and still keep your waistline in check? Well, Dr. Evelyn Hannon is here to help us do just that. Lovely to see you, Evelyn.
Thank you, Olive. Thank you.
Now, we are heading into barbecue season, so let's start with
burgers.
We hope.
Yeah.
Burgers, love them, but we can make them homemade and very healthy.
That's right. I suppose, you know, the shop-bought burgers, you know, they can be quite high in fat and salt. It's really, really easy to give burgers a makeover by just making up your own at home. It's literally a 5-minute job to make up your own burger. So a recipe, I suppose what I bought today is ingredients for a recipe that I would use actually. So really simple, and if anyone wants to email in after the show for the recipe, please do so. But basically a little bit of chopped onion, chopped garlic, fry it up in a little bit of olive oil, and then let it cool a bit and add that to your lean minced beef, a little bit of sage, black pepper, and bind it all up with a little bit of egg. So there's 6 or 7 really simple ingredients, as I say, you can do up in a couple of minutes, and way healthier than your shop-bought burger. And like what we're doing there is seasoning the burger with sage and garlic and black pepper instead of salt as well, because you know, salt intakes are quite high in Ireland. So great to get the other seasonings in there. And actually what's really key there as well is when you're buying the mince for the burger, do look out for lean mince. What you're looking for there is mince at about the 4 or 5% fat level, because there's huge variation in supermarkets when you buy meat. So true. It's just, I know I've said before, but just to keep reading the food labels in the supermarket to buy the healthier options. 4 to 5% fat is fine? Yes, exactly, in your burger. That's what you're looking for when you buy the mince for the homemade burgers.
Now, I know that sometimes people tend to go maybe the chicken or the turkey breast fillet as well.
That's right,
is that something that people can do?
Absolutely. Chicken and turkey breast fillets, again, naturally low in fat, naturally low in salt. And what you can do, you know, sometimes I suppose it can be a bit bland on its own. So what you can do is use marinades to flavour them up a little bit. Yeah. So again, a really simple one would be a little bit of orange juice, lime juice, so about 1 orange, the juice of half a lime, a little bit of grated ginger, crushed garlic, and again a little bit of olive oil and black pepper. So again, you're avoiding the salt in your seasoning there. So into that marinade then simply have your chicken breasts, put them into the marinade and put them into the fridge for at least an hour, and absolutely delicious.
God, you're making me hungry. That's great. Loving that. That's great, because I mean, you know, that's kind of the main part of your barbecue.
That's your
and that's where your
fish, of course, as well. You could cook on the barbecue as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So salmon or that, but just to wrap it in foil. You know, so that you can actually place it on the barbecue and that. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Now the jacket potatoes are something I absolutely love, but would never think to barbecue.
Really? Yeah. Well, it's so simple. I mean, all you need to do is just simply scrub the potatoes, wrap them in foil. They take a little bit of time, all right, on the barbecue. You know, you need to allow maybe about an hour for them to cook properly.
An hour, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you know, put them on in plenty of time. But absolutely, again, like with the chicken and that, naturally low in fat, naturally low in salt. You know, they're fantastic. One of your ordinary, everyday superfoods, I call them, the potatoes.
Superfood.
Yeah.
And nice toppings on that then that would be healthy would be?
You could put a little bit of cheese, grated cheese, salsa, again, tomato salsa type topping would be low in fat as well. Yeah.
I love tuna and sweet corn.
Absolutely, with a little bit of light mayonnaise can be fantastic as well. Yeah.
So lots of ideas with the baked potato. Then corn on the cob is another one I love, but rarely barbecue.
Really, yeah. Well, I suppose that's, you know, we just need to think about, I suppose, the barbecue, it's a huge opportunity to get your 5 a day in there. So there's lots of opportunities. So the sweet corn, you know, you can speed up the cooking a bit by boiling it first so that it's a little bit tender, and then put it on the barbecue so that it's done faster and to keep it juicy.
Got that lovely charred.
It's absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Fruit kebabs is another one. You know.
Oh yeah, and this is interesting because what fruit would lend itself well to being barbecued?
Plenty, really. I mean, your pineapple there and your grapes. We have apples, bananas actually would be fine as well on the barbecue.
Oh yeah.
So again, just wrap it in the foil before you put it there, and trust me, delicious. Yeah. And you could always serve that with a little bit of low-fat yogurt as well. It can be lovely. Yeah.
Right. We see, because you do think barbecues do not equal healthy, but if you're smart about it,
just
really
a little
simple.
bit of thought and planning, and they can be as healthy as any. And I suppose, especially nowadays, a lot of families over the summer would actually barbecue their evening meal a couple of times a week over the summer, you know. So when we're having it that much more frequently nowadays, we really should think a little bit more about trying to make it a little bit more healthy.
The salads then as well.
Yeah, again, as I say, great opportunity for your 5-a-day in the barbecue. So you have nothing wrong with your standard green salad. It can be lovely, really quick to put together. What I would say is, rather than add the dressings, maybe leave them on the side so that people can add whatever amount they like themselves. And important as well to get the light versions, you know, the fat-free or low-fat versions of dressings or your light mayonnaise. And another great base for salads to go with your barbecue would be the likes of pasta or rice or couscous. Any of those are fantastic base, and really you can add whatever you want in terms of, you know, raisins or carrot or tomatoes, courgettes, onions. The list is endless there as to whatever you like yourself as to what you can add. So fantastic starchy carbohydrates there to add to barbecue.
Because I always find that, you know, it's difficult to get the 5 helpings of your fruit/veg a day, and I think by mixing them in a little bit it's easier.
Exactly.
To do
I suppose when people think of the 5 a day, they think of just having to eat 5 pieces of fruit, but or veg. But you know, it's a matter of kind of adding them to foods we're eating already. So like that now, adding them to your burger bun, adding some lettuce, tomato, adding them to your sandwiches. And there's huge potential there. It's not as hard as people think. I always say. Yeah.
And then any other like little tips and advice for when you are there at the barbecue? Is there any other little...
Well, I suppose the one thing, food safety is quite important when it comes to the barbecue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the safety side of things. So I suppose when we can often think it's very important to cook any meat that you're cooking, apart from maybe steaks now, they can be maybe a bit rare, all right, but any kind of ground meat like burgers or sausages and chicken, really important to make sure that they're cooked right the way through, because I suppose sometimes they're charred or they can be kind of a little bit burnt looking, so we think they're done. So just to make sure, you know, they're piping hot all the way through and the juices run clear. That's really important. And you know, other things on the food safety side would be never use the same utensils for raw meat as you use for cooked meat.
Sure.
That's really important. So chopping boards, you know, utensils for the actual flipping the barbecue itself, really important that they're kept separate. Keep your salads in the fridge as long as you can, you know, rather than having them out if your barbecue is going on for a couple of hours, rather than having them out all the time. So just to be aware of the food safety side of things as well. Or if you're cooking food from frozen, just to make sure that it's fully defrosted before you pop it on the barbecue.
Sure. And defrosting really just overnight, is it?
Yeah, and just keep it on the bottom shelf of the, just let it thaw out on the bottom shelf of the fridge. Yeah.
Perfect.
But the Safe Food website actually is a great resource if you're worried about the food safety side of things at the barbecue. The great tips and advice there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now the recipes that you've given us there are so clever. If people want to get their hands on the recipes,
well, yeah, they can either just email the show or either if they log on to the Lolo Ireland Facebook page as well, all the recipes will be there as well.
Perfect. Well, I have to say, you have me hungry.
Great, me too. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll have plenty of opportunity now over the next few months to barbecue outside. Yeah,
Sure. Well, thank you so much for telling us all the tips and advice there. Super.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, there you go now. If the sun shines, you know what to do. You're going to have to get the barbecue out, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to all eat very, very healthily indeed. Now we're going to take a quick break. Still to come, we're going to be taking a look at she economy with Zara Mulholland. That's coming up in part 2.